Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another installment of the Can I Gold Everything series. In this video we will be going over the tracks of the day for October of 2020. If you have not watched any of the other Can I Gold Everything videos, be sure to go check those out. We have July, August, and September of 2020 done already. But without any further ado, here are the tracks for October of 2020. The track of the day for October 1st was Sanctuary Zero by Tatsne. Very difficult track to start off the month here. Very hard turns and transitions on this one, including a very difficult speed check coming up very soon. But yeah, just overall very tough. A lot of this beginning section you can't really mess up at all. Here comes a speed check. Got to make sure you got everything for this. Even though I was pretty slow there, I had to take it very far inside. And then another sort of speed check coming up here. We got to jump over to this section. Not the greatest landing in the world, no matter how you take that. It felt bonked the wall there, so I guess maybe a little bit of a generous gold time, but barely made that jump at the end to finish it off. The track of the day for October 2nd was In Via by Depe Hugh. Yeah, pretty difficult track again. A lot of dirt here at the beginning, very tight turns. Right here, make sure you take this jump, otherwise you'll lose a ton of time going across the penalty grass. Pretty straightforward at the start though. Say a bit of a tough section coming up after this. We gotta drift a few corners. Never took them that well, but did fine I guess. As long as you don't hit the walls, you should be okay. Even though I think I did hit the wall here on this upcoming turn. Maybe not. Make sure you go straight across the grass there, so you don't lose much time turning again on the penalty grass. Through this section, just take it pretty slow. Don't really worry about anything besides not hitting the walls. Nice long jump here, and you can do a little bit of wiggle on this grass to gain a little bit of speed, but make sure you straighten it out before this one here. And then a very tight turn into this end here, and you should be good. The track of the day for October 3rd was Sunken Desert City by Chris. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce the rest of this person's name because I'm not really sure how to parse it, but the track itself was quite a mess. Didn't really enjoy it at all. Very confusing. Just again, very messy. Probably one of the worst tracks that we've ever played on Track of the Day. No offense to the creator. Just didn't care for it at all. Easy author time if that's what you want. I even had a checkpoint reset and still got author. So yeah, not much else to say about this one. Enjoy watching the rest of this track. The track of the day for October 4th was Greantea by Ratty Piken. All grass track here, and really it's all about maintaining as much ground contact as you can. Right there at the beginning, I probably should have jumped to the upper rights, but I wound up going to the bottom left, I guess. This track is mostly about maintaining as much ground contact as you can. A lot of places to get airtime, which you really do not want. Like right there, a little bit of airtime, but that was okay. Can get some grass wiggles in to gain a little bit of time, but not a lot of opportunity. Here is really the biggest part where you can get air, which I did right here, which was not great for my time. And then the end is a hard cut to the left here into the finish. The track of the day for October 5th was Avalanche by Palmer 35. Probably one of the easier tracks we've had up until this point. It only took me a few attempts to get through. Some drifts here and there, like that section there, the grass auto drifts for you. Right here, it caught me a bit by surprise, so make sure you drift there. The magnet does not help enough to get that turn off. But yeah, just a few drifts here and there, really not much to this one. So enjoy the rest of the track. The track of the day for October 6th was Fairy Drift by Ali. As you can tell by the name, there will be a fair bit of drifting in this one, whether it be by grass like that one there, or this one sort of here, but the rest will basically be your own drift initiation. Really not much else to this track. There is one section that may be a bit of a speed check, but really it's not that bad. You can land pretty early if you're slow and still make it perfectly fine. So I don't think that should be a major concern. Should be coming up here very shortly right here. Yeah, you can definitely land that one up pretty early and still make it fine. But the rest is pretty straightforward, just probably a few more drifts here, and then the end will be here very shortly. The track of the day for October 7th was Lost Village by Vextoff. Pretty cool, little bit of a shorter track, but for how tight the turns are, you're going pretty fast. Few drifts here and there. Overall, it's not the hardest track, but it could prove tricky if you're not that great at tech type tracks. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. The amount of speed you had in the tight turns was very enjoyable. Coming up here, just take this smooth transition onto the sausage and jump all the way over to the finish. The track of the day for October 8th was Bay by TTT 44,000. Right at the start there, you land on ice and get a bit of a slide into that corner, and then here, a little drift there where I bonk, so pretty generous goal time on this one. You could do some dirt wiggles here to gain a little bit of speed. Make sure you don't get baited on some of these turns, like right here. Make sure you take the right path, and then again, coming up here, take left. If you go right, you'll just take that boost directly over into the water, but then just keep on going straight here, and you'll end up at the finish. Track of the day for October 9th was Scarland by Drath and Shax. Has to be a pretty easy track here, as I beat it on my first attempt, so I don't really remember much about it, but I do think I bonked at one spot. I do believe there are a few places that have little rocks or pillars that maybe jut out, so just be wary of that. Yeah, right here, watch out on the left side for that. Almost hit it myself. I do believe coming up here, yeah, I do hit that little piece sticking out, so make sure you turn a little bit harder left there. But then I believe we just have this one jump, and the finish should be right there. Track of the day for October 10th was Sriracha by Peekaboo. Pretty tough track here. This is not my second attempt, despite what the info on the right says. This was a separate recording date. But yeah, pretty tough track here, very tight dirt turns with the walls that you can easily bonk and just basically throw your runaway. Big boost section that we passed a while ago was also very difficult. Here, right chose left, just found it easier. You can choose a right and get a bit of a straighter jump, but I found it pretty difficult to do. Just, yeah, this was a pretty hard track overall. Pretty long as well, which does not help either. But I believe here it's just straight to the finish. The track of the day for October 11th was Magic Carpet by Jack 18. Pretty difficult track here. It was mostly dirt with a couple of drift sections, but really this one was all about maintaining as much speed as possible. Right here, you got to get over that mountain. I bounced off of it, but landed perfectly fine. Had enough speed to still get over this next hump as well. Really, those are the two toughest parts of this track. You got a little bit of a drift there, and then just more dirt coming up. Pretty tricky here with these little back and forth sections, but if you can get through that fine, should be good to go. Just a jump here to the end. The track of the day for October 12th was a Land Before Time by El Bardo 94. This was a full speed track. It was pretty tricky too, with a couple of turns that I didn't really care for that had like blind entrances and exits. But I still had a good time. I always enjoy full speed, so I can take what they give me. But yeah, lots of grinding on this. It took me a bit longer than most full speeds do, just because of those blind turns. Also, yeah, I mean, it was just pretty hard gold time as well. Make sure you take that low and then come out high so you can get into that loop there. Again, just more wall rides. Just make sure you don't bonk on the ceiling, and then the finish is already here. The track of the day for October 13th was Haunted Forest by Manica. Pretty tough track for me despite what the time says. Again, this was another separate recording date. Ice is very difficult for me, so I really don't have a ton of advice to give for ice. If I'm being honest, not the best, so plenty of other places you can get better advice from than me. But thankfully I did get gold here eventually. I think this one took me probably like 20 minutes to get. Just very tight, especially coming out of that one like tube of bobsled. Getting back into a slide was very difficult, but here we have it after this turn, just straight to the finish. The track of the day for October 14th was Savage by Pop Hip. Another pretty easy track here. Just make sure you maintain as much ground contact as possible. And make sure you land as smoothly as possible in a lot of these places. That's really where you're going to get most of your time. There is one little sliver of a boost that's coming up here very shortly, so if you can grab that, get a free 50-point speed boost. If not, I don't think it's a huge deal. I think you can still get gold if you have a clean lap. Yep, right there, just jump over those rocks. Hopefully you have enough speed, and right there's the finish. The track of the day for October 15th was Valley Trail Turbo by Rocky Starfield. I'm assuming this is a track based off of a track from Trackmania Turbo, but I am not quite sure. I play quite a bit of Trackmania Turbo. I have like 179 golds, I think. Haven't gone back to it for a while, so maybe I should do that. But this track, pretty straightforward. Right here, you just got to stay in the middle. I've hit the left tree plenty of times. Right here is a very tight dirt turn. And really the hardest part coming up right here through this chicane, which I bonked on a few times. But otherwise, the map was pretty good. Again, I don't know if this is based on an actual track or not, but here, just a boost pad into the finish. The track of the day for October 16th was Hieme Iter by Tuplaj. So a pretty nice track here. Pretty simple beginning, just take those turns. Here, I believe you can take this nearly full speed, a little bit let go of the gas, which put me a little bit behind, but we're alright. Here, I did not try to slide it all sideways, just took it straight on. It seemed to work out the best that way. Up here, a little bit of a drift to get around there. And in this tunnel, you got to drift both turns. On the second one, I was a bit too late on it, which I thought was going to cost me the gold, but we ended up being fine. Here, just land a little bit sideways, get a tiny bit of drift, and then straight to the finish. The track of the day for October 17th was Mars by Anti-Wushel. Here at the start, avoid the no steer and hit the boost and go sideways. You want to brake a bunch in the air and then drive forward immediately when you get to that tunnel. This map was probably my least favorite out of any of the tracks we have ever played. Probably spent a good 45 minutes on this. After 30 minutes, I gave up and had to look for a video on how to actually do the start, because the GPS shows them going straight forward, but you get stuck in the first person cam and can't see anything at all. Yeah, definitely my least favorite track we've ever done. I would suggest watching videos on it or reference this if you are playing along on how to do this track because it is pretty bad. Right here, hopefully you have enough speed to miss that beginning ramp and then go to the finish. The track of the day for October 18th was Journey High Gardens by Squeaky Tomato. This track was pretty good in the first half, that is. Second half kind of spoiled it, but here you can see I bonked on the wall there. Still got gold, so I mean pretty generous gold time, although that's kind of to be expected. The longer the track goes, the more generous the times kind of get. But yeah, beginning half of this one was very good. If you cut this track in half and just left the first half of this, it'd probably be one of my favorite tracks we've ever done. So there's that, but the end gets kind of messy with a bunch of speed boosts and stuff, where it's just very hard to see things that are coming up because you're moving so fast, and kind of things just pop out of nowhere. So you really got to play through this a couple times to see where you got to go. It's hard to control, things come up on you so fast here. But luckily the time is pretty generous for the gold, and yeah, we eventually got it here. The track of the day for October 19th was Valley Ridamido. Pretty cool track here, very tight turns, very fast. I remember quite enjoying this one. Bit of tech in here, lots of drifting going on. So in the very beginning, you can take a little bit of a shortcut going across the grass. Make sure there you'd go right and go off the ice. Otherwise the turn is pretty difficult otherwise. Got a little bit of grass here. Yeah, just lots of drifting. Pretty cool track though. Here, make sure you just stay in the middle as close as possible so you don't go flying off to the side. And then very shortly, you're coming up to the end. Just watch out for the tree and send yourself to the finish. The track of the day for October 20th was Greenday by Hot Rod SWE. This is probably one of the harder tracks we've done this month. Very heavy tech on this one. Very hard drifts. Yeah, just a super difficult one. Spent a ton of time on this, despite what the timer says. I had to come back to this another day because it was just super tough. Basically every turn a drift, minus this one right here, which you can just send it right through. And a drift right after that, more drifting after that. And this jump here at the end is a little difficult, never got through this part cleanly, always hit the edge of the down ramp, but there's the gold. The track of the day for October 21st is Desert Dip by Rexosaurus. Another pretty difficult one here to follow up that last difficult one with a little bit of dirt here. I had tons of problems with these wall rides, I suppose you can call them, with the boosts. There are, I think, 3 of them on this one. They are all pretty difficult to stay on fully. Lots of times you just go off the top, you go off the bottom, very hard. My best thing to say for those is to go in low and then try to stay in the middle on the other exit parts. But yeah, pretty difficult one here. Again, go in low. I stayed low there, almost fell off, but managed to stick it and get to the end. The track of the day for October 22nd was Zoom Zoom by Hoff 111. We got a speed tech track here, so a couple high speed drifts going on in this one. Overall, it's pretty self-explanatory, outside of maybe 1 or 2 little sections. One, it'll be coming up here in a few seconds with some sausage block. Really, you can just kind of stay on the middle the entire time. Here, just dip a little to the right, and go back to the center to get up above that little hump. And then at the end, just a very tight drift into the finish. The track of the day for October 23rd was Atlantide by Pop Hip. Pretty interesting one here, pretty generous time on this one as well. As you'll see, I had messed up plenty of times and still continued on and got the gold. But on these wall rides, make sure you go up and stay high on them and then come down at the very end. This one here, kind of want to stay up high, otherwise I got the rocks right there in the middle. And you will bounce off of those. Even right here, you need a lot of speed. I didn't even make it, and you can see it's terrible bounce there. kept going because I was plenty ahead of my old time. Figured, hey, might as well just practice the track a bit, and surprising enough to me, I got the gold. Here you got magnets, so just take it hard inside, and the finish is right there. The track of the day for October 24th was Space Launch by Hazwa. Right here at the start, it's basically just hold forward for like 10, maybe 10 plus seconds, I guess. 12 seconds of just holding forward, then just slightly to the right here. Big drop. Kind of want to be to the outside there so you can turn in pretty heavy. A little bit of sausage block section, kind of stay towards the middle, and a little bit of a dip to the left there. Drift here, I don't know how well I took this. I did alright. Then just dodge these poles here, and then just a big jump. This is where I lost like basically all my runs, because just could not get a good landing there. Not really sure what makes a good landing at that spot, but just hope and pray, I suppose. Then just jump over that, and then a grass section here, and just keep on turning to the left, and there is the finish. The track of the day for October 25th was Drift City by the Alavir. Another tech track here. This month seems completely dominated by tech. This one, obviously, of course, tech means drifting, and then lots of places where you can get little hops, so try to reduce your airtime as much as possible by taking the flatter plane. I think that goes without saying. But yeah, just lots of drifting going on in this one. Not much else to really say about it. So enjoy the rest of this one. The track of the day for October 26th was Aardburn by JNSF7. Heard you like tech track, so here's yet another one. So obviously lots of drifting going on here. Beginning self-explanatory. There'll be a little section coming up after, I believe, this turn here. There'll be a jump coming up right after this black section. There'll be a little magnetic piece. You want to drift immediately hard left after you get off of that, in order to get a clean line through this section. Then another drift here, followed by another drift here. Didn't take this one the best. I'm not very good at slow drifts, but finish right there. The track of the day for October 27th was Aqueduct by I'm Yo 91. This was an interesting track. Probably wasn't my favorite of the month. Probably right in the middle, honestly. A lot more drifting going on here because there hasn't been enough tech this month, so just throw a little bit more in there. This section never took it that well. I had to slow down a little bit. So a little bit of a generous gold on this one, honestly. There's some dark sections as well. Not too fond of those. And right here, make sure you take that jump high enough, otherwise you'll hit the front of that wall like I did plenty of times. And again, another dark section that'll be coming up here right after this turn. Just kind of trust the process. There'll be a turn, just keep going left, go up on the wall a little bit, and then after that, just a little bit more left, and you're at the end. The track of the day for October 28th was Green Hill by, I believe is Orgox, maybe? I think I've been pronouncing this person's name wrong the entire series. I have no idea. If you ever watch this, let me know how to pronounce your name. That would be great. But this track here was pretty awesome, honestly. One of the favorites I have played. Although it was quite confusing at first, I did enjoy hunting it after that. Just lots of places where you can go the wrong direction without really knowing it. But once you figure out the route, this one was extremely fun. Lots of grass, lots of tech. Yeah, definitely one of my favorites ever, so a great track here. The track of the day for October 29th was Lost Eden by TTT 44,000. This one is kind of speed tech. It's mostly full speed though, so only expect to drift maybe 3 or 4 times throughout this one. But pretty cool track. Didn't really take me very long to get through this one, only a couple attempts there, and basically all crashes at the very beginning. So I don't think many people will struggle too much on this one. Here you're probably better off taking the right path, but I took the left and ended up fine, and the finish is already here. The track of the day for October 30th was Shortswift by Mikey. Pretty interesting one here. Super short track, very heavy drifts. So short, in fact, I'm probably not going to have much time to talk about anything. Yeah, drifts everywhere, basically 90-degree turns all over the place. So be prepared for that. Another one there, and then I believe this is the final jump to the end, which I almost overshot. The track of the day for October 31st was Tuplaj Desert Mountain by Tuplaj. This is basically a full speed track here. Pretty generous goal time on this one as well, as you'll see plenty of times, like right here. I landed pretty poorly, still ended up getting this one. Major concerns about this one, really just the poles that are just thrown about everywhere, so just be aware to avoid those. Right there, obviously terrible air time, so just take that a bit lower. More poles to avoid there and here. And right here at the end, you just go a little bit off center, and you should get the finish. And there you have it, 4th month down, with October 2020 being completed. Feels like October was dominated by tech tracks, whether it be longer speed tech tracks or just short tech tracks. They were just all over the place in this month. Overall, I think October was on par with probably the rest of the months we've done. Really not too difficult, with a few standout tracks, but not really much more difficult than anything we have experienced thus far. But yeah, that's all the tracks golded for October of 2020. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below if you have any feedback for this series. Like, for example, I was thinking about giving a ranking to every track each month. So if you like that included for November's tracks, be sure to comment that below. As always, be sure to check out all the other Trackmania content on the channel, such as the other videos in this Can I Gold Everything series, or my daily track of the day videos. But thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.